now we are going to hear the cluster report of the film cluster. I'd like to invite Mr. Jordi Hernandez and Mr. Dong Yeon Park to take the floor, please.
Well, hello to everyone. Thank you for being here and not for being on the beach drinking caipirinhas. We really love you guys. And well, as we have 8 minutes, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. This is Jordi Hernandez. I'm from Terrassa, in Catalonia, Spain, and my colleague.
My name is Dong Yeon Park from Busan, South Korea.
Well, we are. Oh, sorry, I need to change now. Yeah, it's right. I don't have enough hands. Well, in the film cluster, we are. Whoops. No. We are quite a small group, as you can see, but a small group spread all over the world. So we need just to find a way to work together. So this past 2 years, maybe, even with the COVID situation, what we've been working is trying to define a workflow, a useful workflow that puts together all these cities all around and trying to take the advantage of what we are, a city of films. We adopted a subcommittee's work. We get the inspiration from other clusters, like the design cluster. Our colleagues presented right now very well. And we have to say that it's been a very good change, because it's a nice way to involve all the cities in this day-by-day workflow inside of the sub-network. So we vote for these subjects. As you can see, there are very different ones. All somehow are related to the film industry, just like the shooting, virtual production, post-COVID, on industrial and theaters. You know that, as in all the creative fields, also film is suffering a lot. So we need also funding, and the European cities, we are trying to find more funding in this, applying for the Creative Europe program. We are very strong in terms of network. We have a great film festival network. We are also try to implement just like a system to monitor the impact in terms of SDGs. And finally, there's a very unique program, which is Art for Future Lab, who is led for our colleague Lisa from Potsdam. What I wanted to say is that we finally did it. We have just like a starting point of how to work, a workflow. Now the following challenge is to implement it in the future. So this will be the challenge for the next times. But anyway, there was another challenge. It was that we had the chance to come here and to take the advantage of being here in face-to-face. So we designed a roadmap specifically for this Santos venue. I just want to just stop here and express my gratitude, because it will be the last time that I will be in the stage. Express my gratitude to Sally, Mariana, also Denise, Chavo, and all your teams, because you made it possible. It wasn't easy, so you made it possible that we were here. So for us, it was differential. So like 2 weeks ago, we started to think how to do something together, how to create just a little roadmap that allows us to come back to our homes with a project that puts together all the cities of film. Well, I'm just going to explain you how did it work. The first session, we first of all, we defined a subject of interest, and it was easy because the conference already had one. So our subject of interest was film as a path of equality. So during the first session, all our colleagues shared a lot of experiences based on this subject. They should have to be experiences to inspire our next steps, so to implement in our cities once we are back. And during the second session, what we had to do is try to define the basis, the guidelines for a project. So my colleague is going to present this project later. Of course, we want that implement during the next year, and our goal is that we can have it during the Istanbul meeting. But, well, just let me give some core ideas about the first session. what things were on these sessions. For example, many cities have already working projects based on giving voice to underrepresented groups like refugees, senior people, or whatever. So it gives us just like a first idea, a first thing to consider. The second one is something that I already said. We are a very powerful network. We have a very powerful network of film festivals. So we already have a powerful window to show our projects around. The third one, it could sound a little bit simple, but it's also true. Film is a very useful tool for other kind of literacies. It's a tool that it's very friendly for the children, for the senior, and for whatever. And you don't need a lot of previous knowledge. And finally, we are very strong in terms of connection with the industry. So with this cocktail, we were working during the first session, and we wanted just to go to the next and finally land this project. But meanwhile, our colleagues from Boots, and Monica, who is here, they show us a really meaningful project. This is a workshop that they conduct in Boots, in Poland. Unfortunately, they are receiving a lot of refugees constantly. Many of them are children, so they decided to use the stop motion and conduct workshops based on stop motion, just to give them a voice again, just to probably let them forget about the war, probably just give them some rest. So now we'd like to show this very short video, because in my opinion, you'll see that very meaningful things can be said in a very simple ways, as you'll see. So this is our inspiration, and we'd like that a future project that Dong now is going to present you can follow this philosophy. So let me show. I think you should click, or it's me? No.
Can we play one more time with sound? Is it possible?
I don't know. If not, it's okay. Let's follow. Maybe I can.
Well, so I'm just gonna have the presentation. Let us not forget that there are people out there in the forgotten corners of our city, people whose voices are forced to be silenced, sometimes because of lack of their physical ability, people who have visual or hearing impairment, sometimes citizens who are discriminated by their skin color, or citizens who lost their houses due to absolute poverty. It could be also senior citizens, children who were forced to grow up without their mother or father, refugees who would never know the feeling of their family's embrace. Sadly, their voices are often easily neglected and silenced. However, it might be the almost willful ignorance that thinks the cry of refugees will go away if we just don't think about it, or the housing crisis will solve itself if we just ignore it. Well, obviously, that's not going to happen. No matter how hard we try not to listen, the voices of forgotten corners of our cities won't be dismissed or disregarded easily. Our cluster's idea started from there. How can we make those voices to be heard so that we could hear and understand our cities from a different perspective, with a different point of view? During the conference, with the full support of Santos, our film cluster put our heads together to find a way to make it happen. So, starting with the cities present at the conference, we are going to have time to diagnose issues in our cities. After the conference, then have film workshop to help makers to have technical support. Through the workshop, we expect two outcomes. One, from a filmmaker with the format of stop motion. The other documentary to give viewers a deeper understanding of the purpose of process this project. And hopefully, with the support of the Secretariat and the next host city, Istanbul, the results of this workshop will be shared and screened during the next UCCN conference. Our dream for this project is so to encourage citizens to have opportunities to listen to other voices to which they have never even had a chance to listen, and eventually relate themselves to the issues and think about how to deal with issues by themselves, which actually have been happening in our cities while we are asleep. Well, this is our cluster's initiatives, and at the same time, invitation to other clusters. Enormity of task lies ahead won't be easily met by a single cluster. Sometimes we need endorsement and support. In the end, I believe that's what this network is about, giving each other dose of inspiration and unyielding support. We will wait for your answer. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. May God bless all the cities and the citizens. Obrigado.